Hello and welcome to Peza Horror Stories. This story was sent to me by a long-haul truck driver named Thompson, who drives across the snowy highways of Montana. What happened to him one winter night changed the way he looked at the open road forever. I've been driving trucks for 8 years. Deserts, cities, frozen mountains. I've seen it all. But nothing compares to that night near the northern woods of Montana. It was past midnight, snow falling thick, when I pulled into a small clearing to rest. The wind howled through the trees as I parked, shut off the engine, and drew my curtains tight. Inside, my heater hummed, wrapping me in warmth. I made some instant noodles, the smell filling the cabin. Everything felt calm until I heard it. Crunch, 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 footsteps in the snow. At first, I thought it was ice falling from the roof. But the sound came again, slow, deliberate. Someone was walking around my truck. Out here, 30 miles from the nearest town. That was impossible. The steps stopped beside my door. I turned off the light and held my breath. Whoever was out there didn't knock, didn't speak, just stood there. Then the door handle moved. Once, twice. The door was locked. Thank God. The handle rattled again, steady and patient. Then silence. After a moment, I heard more footsteps, this time circling to the other side. The second handle began to shake. My pulse pounded so hard it hurt. Then, nothing. For a few minutes, I sat frozen in the dark. Then, faintly, came voices, whispering. 3 of them, a man, a woman, and a child. Their words were wet, broken, not English, not anything human. I dared to peek through a tiny gap in the curtain, but there was no one there, just snow falling under my headlights. The whispers stopped the instant I looked. Then came the crunching again, moving away. I thought they were leaving. I jumped into the driver's seat, ripped the curtain open, and started the truck. The headlights lit up the clearing, and there they were. 3 figures stood just ahead. A man, a woman, and a little boy, dressed in torn old-fashioned clothes. Their skin was gray, faces half burned and frozen. The man's eye was gone. The woman's mouth hung open like a slit. And the child smiled and waved. I slammed the accelerator. The tires spun, snow flying everywhere. The truck lurched forward, barely escaping. As I passed, I saw the woman's hollow eyes and the boy's waving hand. Miles later, my heartbeat still hadn't slowed. I checked the mirror and froze. They were still there, far behind, standing in the snow, watching. An hour later, I hit a patch of black ice. The truck slid into a ditch. I grabbed my radio, called dispatch. They told me the nearest repair shop was a few kilometers east. I didn't mention the family. I said I'd walk. The cold outside cut through my jacket. My flashlight beam shook with every step. 10 minutes later, I saw footprints in the snow. 3 sets, a man's, a woman's, and a small child's, leading the same direction I was walking. I followed them through the blizzard until I reached an old wooden house buried in snow. The windows were broken, but light flickered inside a fire burning in the fireplace. I crept to the window. No one there. Against my better judgment, I opened the door. The house smelled of burnt wood and something sweet and rotten. Inside, old furniture, dust, and silence. Then my radio crackled. "Thompson, do you copy? You okay out there?" The sound echoed through the empty house. A dog barked outside, loud, angry, and then footsteps. 3 sets. They entered through the main door, the same man, woman, and child. Their movements were stiff, puppet-like, their faces twisted in silent rage. They sniffed the air, searching. The child turned his head toward where I hid. Slowly, he began walking toward me. I spotted a small vent window near the ceiling, grabbed a metal rod, and smashed the glass. They shrieked a high, unnatural sound that made my ears ring. I climbed out, dropped into the snow, and ran until my lungs burned. Up ahead, through the storm, I saw a faint light, a service shop. Inside were a man and his 2 daughters. They looked at me like I was a ghost. When I told them what happened, the man's face went pale. He said softly, "That house, you shouldn't have gone there." He told me that in 1915, a family was murdered in those woods. A father, mother, and their son. Their home still stood untouched. Many drivers over the years had seen them wandering the snow during storms. Silent, lost, waiting for help that never came. When morning came, they helped tow my truck back. Before leaving, I took a photo of the woods with my instant camera. The picture developed slowly in my hand, and when it cleared, my blood turned to ice. Behind my truck, in the snow, stood 3 faint silhouettes: the man, the woman, and the child. The boy was waving, and that's when I knew they hadn't stayed behind. They were still there, watching, waiting. If you like this story, make sure to subscribe the channel for more horror stories. I recommend you to listen this story while you go to bed and use headphones for deep feelings.